platforms with the hashtag WENTECH. We will also like for, as I said earlier, this event to be as interactive as possible. So during our panel question and answer session, we will be receiving questions via the platform slide.do. So that's www.sli.do. You can go on there and log in with the code E900 to submit whichever questions that you have to ask our panelists. You can either submit them anonymously or you can put your name on there so we can announce you and you can be famous. People will know who you are. So yeah, definitely please ask your questions. No question is a silly question unless you're asking for my bank account details, then that may not work out well. But yeah, so I would like to, without further ado, introduce Ms. Hadiza Abagana. She will be given some opening remarks. She is the founder of Your Business Hive and co-founder of My Learning Academy. So can we please give her a warm welcome?
Hello and good morning. It's truly amazing to see all these people here because honestly, when we started the whole WENTECH, we did not think we would get the response that we got. But we got a lot of people to actually show interest in this event, and I'm very happy for that. For me, I feel three things matter today, which is women, entrepreneurship, and technology. Entrepreneurship and technology, as we all know, are drivers of economic development and important facilitators of empowerment for women around the world. A conservative estimate puts the number of women-owned businesses in Nigeria at 41%. I believe this is not inclusive of the small-time businesswoman running her business in her house, because women are growing in entrepreneurship, and it's a force that we need to wake up and listen to. Our research has also shown us that most of the businesses run by women are run in silos, and mutually beneficial relationships are very hard to form in the absence of a platform, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. And when I say the northern part of Nigeria, I mean every single Nigerian business that is running in the north. We're here today to create that platform, to start a movement, to push forward a conversation and become catalysts with the hashtag WENTECH. Our aspirations at My Learning Academy and Your Business Hive is that you join us to ensure that this conversation keeps going and builds momentum to be a great platform for all businesses across the country. As our logo shows, all women are holding hands together so we can uplift each other. So please join me by uplifting the woman next to you. Thank you. Enjoy the summit.
So thank you very much, Ms. Hadiza, for your wonderful speech. We will now move on to the very first panel. I would like to introduce our moderator for the first panel, Mr. Ibrahim Jaga. He's the founder of Startup Arawa. They will be discussing the challenges faced by women in technology. Can we please give him a warm welcome?
Women who have been doing a lot in the entrepreneurship circle and also the tech circle. So my first on the list is Dr. Amina Sambu Magaji. She's the National Coordinator, Office of OIE on Danita. Welcome. Second on the list is India Singh. Welcome. She's Chief Business Enterprise Officer of MTN. Miss Linda? Okay. Third on the list, we have Aisha Amoka, who is the founder of Makifa Network. I also have Stella Ozochukwu. Dennis is the founder of Odyssey Educational Foundation. So a quick one. You're welcome. I'd like to, it's going to be very sharp and very straightforward, but it's going to be very lively. First of all, I would like you to have a quick intro, just 1 minute each for my panelists. To have a quick intro, tell the audience about yourself. Can you sit?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Amina Sambo-Magaji. I'm a PhD holder in artificial intelligence. My research was in finding solutions to complex distributed problems. I've worked with the EFCC for 13 years. I'm a pioneer staff of the EFCC, but please feel safe. Feel safe about that. Recently, when I came back from my PhD, I moved to NIDA, the National Information Technology Development Agency, which is more tuned to all the investment I've done in my career. And I'm now the National Coordinator for the Office for ICT Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Thank you. I look forward to chatting with you all.
She's one of the most celebrated women we have. Anytime we see her, we're very excited there, you know. Thank you, Aisha.
Okay, I'm Aisha Amoka. I'm a system analyst. I'm a graduate of computer science. I'm also the volunteer national coordinator for Women in STEM Brainiacs. What we do is try to get women interested in STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I'm also the founder of Makifa Network. What we're trying to do is get STEM, young people interested in STEM from primary schools, so that we get to see how we groom them to get interested in STEM. Well, I'm also a programmer when I'm really free. I don't think I enjoy being a programmer because I have to spend the whole night programming. And what we try, I try to encourage young girls to go into programming. It's really fun. That's basically about it.
Thank you. We appreciate your good work, Aisha. Aisha has been doing a lot in the STEM segment in terms of encouraging young people and women to STEM education. Thank you, Stella.
Yeah, my name is Stella. I'm scared to even start, you know. Sitting in a panel with a lady in having artificial intelligence PhD. I mean, I'm scared, you know. Well, my name is Stella Uzochukwu Dennis. I have a first degree in electrical electronics, and I worked with the telecom company for about 9 years before I decided to do my master's in telecom management. But when I got to do my master's, I had a twist in what I wanted to do, honestly, because I wanted to come back and look for a job, maybe in MTN or something. But I had a twist. I saw what kids were able to do where I went to do my master's, and then I felt that kids in Nigeria too can be exposed to this. And we've been doing a lot of things when it comes to working with girls on development of mobile apps, working with girls on even artificial intelligence, and a lot of STEM accolades, you know. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm also the regional ambassador for Technovation. I'm also volunteering for the New York Academy of Science. And I think that's me. Thank you.
Thank you. So you can believe that we have one more person coming up on the panel, Ms. Belisala from the Ministry of Education. You're welcome, madam. Please, can you give us a quick intro of yourself?
I'm Olani Obelusola. I'm a technical education specialist, RS Civil Engineering, HND, and I went into industrial technical education, taking building technology as my subject. I'm a deputy director from Federal Ministry of Education, in charge of teachers, technical teachers training program. Thank you.
So let's go straight to business. Statistics have shown that 41% of women are in entrepreneurship. How does it feel so? want to have a quick response from each one of you.
When you talk about general entrepreneurship, I think it's quite encouraging, and I think it's the statistic is close to being realistic, because women having been staying at home, more stay at home and more caring for the family, and for others, take up entrepreneurship as a means of living and as a means of reaching out to people. In terms of technology entrepreneurship, I think I'll doubt that a bit. I would say women take technology to enable their businesses, without a doubt. There's a high number of women online on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social media platforms, and web design. So a lot of women are taking technology to enable their businesses, but being technology entrepreneurs themselves, I think there's a huge loss in there, because technology is perceived to be difficult, and then of course because of the general stereotype. So for example, wherever I go, people are more comfortable with calling me Hajia or Mrs. And when I tell them I'm a PhD, they find it unbelievable. They don't even accept it. Some people just even laugh in my face. No, I'm serious, because of that stereotype. I think there's a lot, and I hope this conversation is going to be about that, about discussing the challenges of women in technology entrepreneurship, and also let's look at possible solutions of overcoming those challenges. I wouldn't jump the gun, I'll wait for you to get there. But yes, thank you.
Aisha?
Well, we've gotten women that are really, really interested, especially in the northern Nigeria. They've really embraced using technology to get their business online. We've had lots of digital marketing classes for young women in Kaduna, Kano, and I think Jigawa was the last one. Most people are really, or most women are really interested in using technology, especially Facebook and Instagram. That's where you get to see lots of people advertising their stuff online. So I think the statistics is really, the statistics really catches the fact that yes, we have, I think I should say 50%, because yes, most ladies really go for their phones now and advertise their stuff, whatever they do, they advertise, and Facebook has become like a community where everybody, almost everyone that has a phone is on Facebook. So getting their stuff online is one of the things that you do, and every lady you get to meet is selling one thing or the other, whether it's earrings or all this hookah stuff and all that stuff. So it's really cool that people are getting interested in using technology.
Stella?
Yeah. Just recently we were talking, I was talking with a friend in South Africa, and she was like, how are you people doing it in Nigeria? Because we have the highest, when it comes to women entrepreneurship in the whole world, Nigeria has the highest volume, it's about 40%. But I will still want to argue technology in it. Yeah, that we're getting used to helping women, and like she's saying, I also am training women right now who are selling ordinary plantain and all that to at least put their business online, so that it could go beyond their immediate community, so that people could even order for it and all that. We're trying, but to tell you the truth, most women too have very sophisticated phones and they don't know how to use it. Honestly, and apart from that, a lot of times when we begin to chat or talk about something we should be talking about, women are like, they are the ones that don't really want to talk in the chats. You know, we always want to have maybe them talk about what they're doing in the technology industry, how they're doing it, and what they're doing about it. You will see that it's always the men who will chat up the group. I have a lot of groups like that. But we're doing well, and we're trying, and I know that we're in the right direction.
I will always talk from the education aspect. When you look at entrepreneurship, generally women are entrepreneurs. right from the holding days, we know women are mostly involved in looking for one thing or the other to make ends meet. I'm talking about the use of technology. Over the years, Nigerian women in general, I think they've grown up to the point of people learning how to even tie your gele online. Little things, people are bringing it. But the problem we have in education is that really in the education sector, STEM subjects has not been given its rightful place. I'm speaking from, it's just recently we're trying to bring up program in STEM. So we discover that, and one thing I realized about, maybe I will talk about it as a challenge in technology. I've been a technologist over the years, but I discovered the Nigerian system is not ready yet to accept anything that has to do with technology improvement. But we are trying our best. I'm coming from Technology and Science Education Department, but we're trying to bring up programs that will make sure we get to the grassroots in order to bring up even not only girls, the men, even at a young age, to expose them to the use of technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you all have agreed about the percentage, right? So we've set the challenges and we understand it. You are women, it's your ecosystem, and you being in the tech ecosystem, you understand the gaps that we need to look at. So how do you encourage women in technology and innovation?
I'll start by saying we need to start teaching them young, to get their interest from the early years. Some of these things don't cut across, are not just specific for women, it cuts across both gender. So as long as from the nursery, thank God we have Madame here who's from the Ministry of Education. Yeah. So we need to revolutionize how we educate our educational system. It shouldn't be about I feed you and then you feed me back in the exams what I gave you. It has to be more innovative. The way we teach has to be more innovative and liberal. Children need to be grown, to be raised up, understanding that they need to solve problems. They shouldn't just be a doctor or should be a banker or economics. What do you want to do? When you ask your kids, what do you want to be in the future? The question should not be specifically, what career do you want to take? It should be geared toward what kind of problems do you want to solve? Because the world is changing. Things have revolutionized. The digital revolution we're talking about is just starting. There's a lot of things that would come and are coming. Emerging technologies, we have the IoT, Internet of Things, we have artificial intelligence, we have blockchain changing how finance is being done. So academia has to change to be able to move at that pace. And for women, we need to encourage them right from the homes. We need to re-engineer how the men and boys think. Wow. I think for me this is very important. We need to re-engineer it. Boys feel entitled. They feel they shouldn't do chores. So how mothers or sisters or aunties or caregivers bring up the guys or men within their whatever is very important. You need to show the guy that he's equal to the woman, he's equal to the girl in his house or wherever, because that's where it starts from. Men grow thinking that they shouldn't wash plates, they shouldn't cook, they should just go out and make money, but things have changed. Come on, ladies, how many women out here contribute to the family? If you're a woman that contributes to your family, please raise up your hand. I mean financially. And my hands are up, my hand is up as well. So gone is the time, yes, thank you ladies, gone is the time when our parents stay back at home, cook, and the men go out there to make all the money to bring to the house. It doesn't happen this way. So from all it takes now, women are even more empowering, women are even more, take more responsibilities domestically than men. Because we are both men and women too. We continue with our, yes, we continue with our female. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
going on here.
Yes, so yeah, absolutely. We need to face it. We need to stop thinking that it doesn't exist. We have to realize that it exists. If a woman is making her money, she has her children, she's taking care of her children, what can a man offer her? She can live without him. we're getting to that time when most women feel they can live without them. So the young men need to understand that they're equal to women. They're not superior. You're not superior. You're equal, and it comes from the home and the background. Something else, apart from the starting young, apart from the re-engineering of the way men think, bringing up men and women, I think it's also important to work on culture. Because not even just technology, women are not really exposed and don't really have opportunities to be educated. Literacy. More men go out there and learn. Women, they prefer to keep them at home to do domestic chores or things that are not very exciting. So in terms of technology, in terms of encouraging them to go into careers related to technology, I think women that have done it out there need to step up and become examples. They need to come out as mentors and speak to, and that is why I'm sure every one of us here is here. A lot of the ladies that I see I've met, and I know, and they're within my network. I've met Stella, I've met Aisha. We've tried to do things together. We've tried to see how we can support them. Women need to step up and need to speak to the younger ones to encourage them to take careers in technology and also make way for them to grow in that field. So I was recently in LIFT1. I was nominated to represent Africa to speak on digital transformation in women across Africa. So I think one of the things I made that was key is that we have this general idea, especially in Nigeria, about godfathers. We need to have godmothers too, in that aspect. Yes, we need to realize that a woman does not have to wait for a godfather to uplift her. Just that you have that girl in your circle, you should be able to empower her. When you hear opportunities, you should be able to get there. When there are opportunities for you to come and speak, to show up, you should make yourself available. And all the other girls out there too, you need to learn to network more. There are many opportunities that exist out there. Don't be afraid. Make yourself available. Enter into network. You never know how these opportunities can come and you can take them. Men have enormous opportunities. They are go-getters. They are always out there. They go to the pub, they go to eat, they're always outside, and meeting each other. So we need to make extra effort for us to go out there and make a... and then I would like to say a couple of things about NITA. NITA is doing several programs geared towards the rural area. I've recently done one in Chigawa. And the idea is to get women that are not very exposed and they don't have access to infrastructure such as computing infrastructure, and educate them in basic use of technology. I think we need to start here. So it was nice to hear Madam there say that even government is not adopting technology. So that was an idea to start even rural women to see what technology can do for them, empower them, and also to start using technology. So the training was around web development, Microsoft Office, because as simple as Office is something you can use and start a business with. Type in letters, type in research projects, type in proposals. We're still at that level. So that's why the entire world is looking at Nigeria as having a big market. It's because of this, because we're still underdeveloped, and there's this digital revolution going on, and we have a lot that they can access from us. So yes, those trainings, after the training, I think 100 women were trained. 100 women were trained. So they had opportunities to come with their babies, they had a place to keep their babies and their nannies and what have you. And at the end of it, they were given indigenous laptops by Zynox. So each of them got a laptop and were encouraged to do businesses.
That's interesting.
So there are several this kind of initiatives that are not very known. But when you go out there, when you use the mobiles that you have, just like you mentioned, yes, the computers are there, the phones are there, but they're not fully utilized. Instead of using them to chat and gossip, let's use them. Everybody gossips. It's not a female thing. The men are worse at it. Okay? So it's not a female thing. Everybody gossips. It's across board, Mohammed. You have to believe that. So it's not about it's not just about using that for social whatever. Yeah, it's good, it's nice, but you can use it to empower yourself. And there's so much you can learn online. We need to do it ourselves. Technology is not something that somebody has to teach you on the blackboard. You have to encourage yourself. It's nice to have a mentor to talk to encourage you. It's nice to have a network, but it's a personal effort that takes a huge chunk of it. And we really need to work on that. There's a huge resource on technology out there on how to anything. Because now when you have a problem, what do you see? Even my kids, they just say, Google it. Because they believe Google has all the answers, even more than mommy and daddy, as it used to be. So it's we need to make, I'll just go quickly. I like to do that when I make my point. So start early, re-engineer the idea of a man equating to a woman. We're the same. It's a personal effort. Do it yourself. Create networks. And then the women that are out there that have done it, step out and mentor the women out there and become godmothers. Thank you.
Role models, please.
Godmothers.
Role models. Thank you very much. You know, Doctor has really touched so many areas, and which is very key. I had to give 1 or 2 minutes to you because she's a lecturer and she has a lot to tell. She has a lot of content to share. I understand, but Doctor, thank you very much. But next time, you know, forget I'm your brother. You've given me too much blood today. Aisha, next to you, please.
Well, Doctor has already said everything. Okay, I just reiterate that women in tech, you need to really encourage yourself. You have to get out there and create the network, just as she said. We have a mentorship platform from women in STEM brilliance. That's what we're trying to do, get mentors for those girls out there. We're not just concentrating on women in tech, we're concentrating on STEM generally. So when you graduate from school or you're still an undergraduate, you can log into our website and look for mentors. That's what we're trying to create for young girls. For tech, I think the problem that most women have is upgrading. When we're good with a certain part of a program or a type of software, we don't try to upgrade at all. And this is where most of the problems come from. You get to see work given to other guys and you'll be like, why am I still here? Why is it that nobody even talks to me or gives me jobs or stuff? Well, you need to upgrade yourself. You need to be out there. You need to network. You need to ask questions and always be online. That's why you all have phones. You have to be, whatever you need to do it. Check, you have educational websites like EdTech, you have University, you have Coursera. These are websites that are really, really good for...
My Learning Academy.
Yes, okay, My Learning Academy. Okay, these are websites that you could try and upgrade yourselves. For the guys, I really, really want to stress the fact that you need to mentor too. You can't really depend, you're still more than the ladies in tech. You have to try and mentor young girls too, or women that you work with. You don't, what's the advantage that the guys really do have is the fact that you talk to each other. They tell, okay, there's an upgrade here, you need to upgrade yourself, or you need to work on this. We ladies, we don't really have that privilege to have people in that network. So get out there, meet guys if you need to, meet guys to help you out, and the guys too should be willing to help out too. I think that's just all
Thank you. So meet guys to help you. Not feel shy. Yeah? Meet guys to help you.
Okay, a lot of challenges there. You know, especially when you go out to talk to some of these women, you need to know that there's a lot of stereotype. They will be like, are you sure I'll get to the highest height when it comes to competing with the guys in this industry? I see a lot of girls. I encourage girls to go into coding and all that, and you'll be like, this Java, if we get to, there's a particular place we'll get to, it's only the men who are going to be the same there. And this Python, it's really, you know, they keep complaining. But like, Haja just said, it's a personal thing. If you take yourself on it and work hard. Aisha to just confess that it's only when she has time she goes into it. Takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of burning of candles. I mean, we, the women, I know we multitask, we have a lot of things to do, but at least we should give some time to helping ourselves to work hard. If you work hard, try and do your best, you will then get to that highest height. I tell you, I've seen ladies who are doing it and doing it well. And one more thing I want to say is, yes, we didn't look at it, but it's one of the challenges. I follow a lot of girls from primary school. By the time we're getting into junior secondary school, we have reduced, and I'm asking what's happening. Some of them are privileged to go to their houses. I ask questions, and their mothers are like this. They have had enough. Let them do something else. I work with a particular community in Barimba. It's called, what's the name of this community again? Kuchibena, yes. I went there. I work with some little girls. So they moved from primary school to secondary school. When I got there, their mom said they're no more going to school, that she doesn't have money to pay for the girl child, but only the man child will go to school. And I was like, Ma, why are you doing this? The girls, it was on the day of International Day of the Girl Child. We went to that community. So we saw a lot of girls being deprived because their mom says, in fact, one said, he's waiting for a rich in-law, to come and solve all her problems. So, we have a lot of challenges when it comes to women going into technology, and we see those things practically because some of them, I work with the girls and I ask questions and they're like, I saw one girl, I give her a system in GS3. She started weeping. I said, what happened? She said, Ma, you know what? This is my first time of sitting face to face with the system. And you know what? I won't even continue after junior secondary school. So there's really no need for you to teach me. And she was weeping. I wept that day. So, we have a lot of issues when it comes to girls, honestly, with women. Yes, we are saying, I am not leaving out the men. I work with guys, young boys too. Because at the time too, we'll notice that we have trained more girls, and then we'll be looking back again to say, we want to train more boys. So, yes, that's the truth. Because what happened was that they started training the boys and left the girls. Now they have realized that there is inequality, and then they are going back again to pick up the girls to want to train them. So I work with both the girls and the boys quite all right. But truly, you will see that the boys want to be more resilient. They want to work harder. They want to ask you more questions. They want to, they want to solve more problems. When I say it's okay, so please, one thing we should talk to our girls too. We should help to mentor them. They need a lot of, and when girls too are getting to a particular age, it's fashion for them. Yeah. It's guy. It's a time to, rock life and all that. All those things used to help reduce the amount of girls that we have going into the next phase of technology when it comes to. So we the women, we the men, we have to help the young girls, mentor them, talk to them, and encourage them to do and work harder. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella.
Thank you very much. What you people talk about mainly, you're talking of the issue of how to school children. This is a big problem for the government. And we all know what causes out of school children. The issue of poverty is there, like preferring to send a boy, believing the girl will end up in the husband's house, so there's no need to spend money on her. And there's this issue of this socio-cultural belief that girls don't really have a future, the religious belief too, mostly in the north, that girls are meant just for the, is it the other room? So, this issue now, so far, presently, the Federal Ministry of Education has a 10-pillar of what the minister wants to do is to address some of this. And the issue of poverty, that the government maybe will launch poverty alleviation programs. And the other issue is sensitization, vigorous sensitization to enlighten the populace of the need not only girls to have children in school, but mostly girls because we are concerned with girls here. And another thing about the mentorship issue that you mentioned, I told you I went through engineering. And one thing I always do is, people always have this belief when you talk about physics in those days, physics, maths, or something like that. There's this fear. So the fear is there, the girls will look at it. But one thing I discovered, if you bring a boy and a girl in the same environment, you give them the same opportunity, mostly the girls do better. I have that one on record. So what we need to do as women that want women in technology is to try and reproduce yourself. You yourself will take it upon you as somebody who has succeeded in this area. Try and pick up somebody in a school. You can go pick a girl, encourage that girl until she achieves and she's able to get what she wants. So I think we need to do that. Reproducing yourself is more than mentoring, making it, a point of duty as an individual. I don't want my profession to die, and I don't want girls to run away from this profession. So I'm going to try and reproduce myself. And when you inculcate that into your mentee, definitely the chain will continue. Then another issue with technology, which we discovered over the years in education. If you look at a book, when you look at a doctor in a book, you see a man. When you look at an engineer, you see a man. What is it telling the students? That this profession is meant for male. So one of the things we are working on in the ministry is to try and change this, making most of our textbooks, the instructional material, to reflect opportunity for the women, that you too can get to be that engineer, you can get to be that doctor. Thank you very much.
Madam has spotted some very, very vital important points that we need to look at, and which remind me that culture has a certain level to play in undermining women in technology role. I would like to direct a question to Aisha. Can you, culture, for somebody like you who is on the north, can you give us a quick overview of your feedback towards that? You have an assessment based on your reputation, your footprints in the northern space. You understand the challenges you face in that. Madam has mentioned culture, which is a very vital element affecting growth.
Yeah, yes, so far, the last meet-up we had with secondary school students, we asked them what's their main issue with joining anything STEM. Their main problems are their parents. When they decide they want to go for any STEM program, all the parents say is, why should you go for all those kind of courses? They are difficult, and moreover, you're just going to end up in your husband's house and give birth to children. So why go for all those? Especially those that go for architecture. They don't even move further. We did a statistic with them. We went to ABU and had a program with them. Most of them, when they finish, they don't go for their masters. They just end up being at home. So we really think, or we need an orientation for the parents. We can't continue with the kind of lifestyle. Yes, we told some of them that you can study these courses and still work from home, like architecture, like computer science, when you survey, you can be consultants, you can reach the highest peak and still work from home as a consultant. So I think the parents too need to, that's what we're trying to work on. We need to get the parents, create a day or a week for the parents to come and have a discussion on leaving their children to study what they want to study.
More advocacy.
Yes, yes. We've started a radio program with Liberty Radio, where we'll be talking to, because we've seen that most of the parents listen to radio programs, so we'll be talking to parents specifically to allow them, young girls, go out there. Most of these people, or most of the guys too, when they go to hospitals, they'll be like, they don't want any male doctor to touch their wives, but you're not allowing your children to go and study medicine. So how do you expect a female medical doctor to be working in that particular hospital? These are things that we try to educate the parents to allow the children go out there, study, and it doesn't mean they will get to mingle. I think that's the fear. You get to hear them talking about, I suggest to, sorry, I'm speaking in Hausa. I suggest to dinga hulɗa da maza ne and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
It's not really, okay, what it means is they're going to be mingling with men.
I think the message is very clear. The Shadi will take it up so that they will do more advocacy down to the northern parts of Credit Corp so that we can let the information get to the grassroots about that information. A quick one, Doctor, what is OIE doing of women in tech? And I've understood that there's a lot of engagements with startups and entrepreneurs, taking them to Dubai exhibitions, other engagement, Startup Friday events you've been doing. So what's OIE doing? Do you have, what is statistics? How many startups have you showcased who are women founders, and what is the challenges, and how are you working towards improving that?
Like I mentioned earlier, I said NIDA is educating the grassroots on how they can use technology to enable their businesses. Apart from that, so when I speak about NIDA, OIE is a subsidiary of NIDA, so both mandates are interwoven, and the efforts done by NIDA is channeled through OIE. So yes, we have a number of initiatives to drive innovation and entrepreneurship in Nigeria. One of the programs which we call the Startup Friday, which is basically an event we take to the different states in Nigeria to ignite the technology ecosystem. So we speak to educational institutions around that area, we speak to the government officials, we speak to investors, we speak to the techies, software development groups and all that, to bring them together in the same room like this and discuss how to move forward and how to ignite what exists in the ecosystem, how the local government, state government can assist in what they're doing, and what the federal government will take up to see how they can create policies around there. So what we're doing in that regard is, the percentage is very, very low. When I came on board last year and we were going to Dubai and I was asked to bring one of the 10 best startups, I was literally going from door to door, trying to meet all the women that I know to bring up women that are entrepreneurs doing technology. I'm serious. I went to the university that I went to different universities. I was looking for women that are doing things in technology. And it's not just using technology to enable your business. We want a tech business. So we want a business that is driven around technology. We want another Facebook, we want another WhatsApp, we want Instagram. I'm saying this so that you can understand what we're looking at. I'm not looking for somebody who is selling cosmetics using a website. Yeah. So it's really, really, really difficult.
A lot of work needs to be done.
Yes, so a lot of things has to be done, and precisely, I think, awareness, not just for the rural northern women, because I think that perception about northern women not allowing their kids to go to school is not very true. Some rural women, and it's usually due to poverty. It comes down to that these days because they can't afford it. So if they can afford it, they prioritize the men over the women. So I think it's across board. Women need to understand the opportunities that exist. Even women amongst ourselves sitting right here. Technology is the most empowering thing that you have now. It seems very difficult, but look, take for example, when you are learning to drive, or learning to swim, or learning to do anything, it seems like the most difficult thing in the entire world. But once you manage how to do it, once you master it, you don't even see it as a skill that you have, you just see it as, oh, I'll just pick the car and go. It's not a big thing. And then it's another thing that becomes challenging for you that you don't know how to do it. So it's exactly the same. So we need to encourage and create awareness around that. And yes, NIDA is doing that, and we need to do a lot more. And we need to partner with the Aishas and the Stellas doing fantastic things out there. It's all about collaboration. It's a massive, huge space out there. We can't reach everybody. For the first year I was here at OI. This is my, I think, 16th month. First year I planned to go to 10 states. You were with me there, brother. We couldn't do more than 4. It's really tasking. But if you partner with private sector that is doing, that is capable, that has the facilities, that has the network, they have the network of people doing these things, I think we would go very far. So networking, partnering, collaboration with people in the tech ecosystem is very important. And then finally, I would say policies. Policies that would enable, that would enable, not stifle, encourage women to be part of it, not just in the academia, but also in the workplace. We should be able to make cases for women that, because we're different, whether you like it or not, you still go for maternity leave when you're pregnant, when you have a baby and things like that. So there should be policies that consider women. We should have policies that use the technology to enable us. For example, I can work from home even if I have a baby. An hour ago. Some women are that strong. So we should be given those kind of opportunities. Yes, and we hope to do that. So wherever we go, we try to pick up conversations. We do hackathons to listen to people, to listen to their challenges and see how we can take them and bring them back to the relevant bodies to see how it can be enabled. And we're always open to listen to what is out there. So if you're on social media, I always campaign. Follow us at NGR Innovation. That's how you know what we do. That's how you can make a difference. It's not all about me or the office. It's about all of us collectively. At NGR Innovation, Instagram, WhatsApp, we're everywhere. Thank you.
Doctor, thank you very much. I think you've said it all, but more need to be done in terms of advocating for women who have the passion, because there's not much appetite in that sector. A lot of women look at it as a man thing and they feel what needs to be done, but a lot is going on. A lot is going on, but NIDA needs to also step it low to the grassroots point. You've said it, the partnership and the synergy is very, very key. Stella, you're doing a lot in the Catch Them Young advocacy. You have a lot of success stories. You've mentioned some which are culture and also family barriers, and some of them maybe monetary value or what have you, sustainability. So what do you feel that need to be done in terms of what areas as specialization? Is it in terms of digital marketing or coding? A lot of women feel coding is for men, but some of them are more acquainted to digital marketing. Others are more acquainted to what specialization do you think need to be focused on in terms of developing women in tech?
Well, all these skills are interrelated. Coding, developing of mobile app. If I can't develop a mobile app without coding, you actually can't do artificial intelligence without coding. I mean, it's all interwoven. You really can do it. When it comes to STEM, it's really that connection where you must have the science, you must have the technology part of it, you must have an engineering thinking, and then you have the mathematics part of it, honestly. I just came back day before yesterday from ITU symposium, where they were looking at how the whole world, I mean, every sector is trying to ensure that people become socially inclusive. And they picked Nigeria as one of the places where they want to look at, and I was called upon to talk about what we're doing with the children. I talked about the little thing we are doing about artificial intelligence. Like Aisha was saying, we have a family artificial intelligence program where the father or the mother comes with the child to learn artificial intelligence. We didn't leave it to only the child. We ensured that the mother or the father must be with the child on a Saturday to work and learn how to build things. We started building, the first thing we built was a circuit without wires. So we taught them that this is a conductor, my earring is a conductor, this is a conductor, my ring is a conductor, and then we gave them some things, pins are conductors, and said, okay, build a circuit. Let me see the LED come up without any wire. They felt it was impossible because that's what artificial intelligence is all about. If you ask Hajia, she will tell you. So when we did that, the parents were like, ah, no, we're too old for this. We can't do this. We can't do that. And I told them, you will learn how to do it. And before long, all the families had their LEDs lit up. And we were like, oh, you see. So the parents now, we got them involved. We ensured that they too, they get to understand what it means. We shouldn't leave them behind. And so even apart from just calling them to talk about it, some of the programs you can inculcate them and get them involved in helping to help the child. So, I mean, it's not about which of the skills is the best. I must tell you, a lot of skills are coming up.
Yes,
a lot of things are coming up. Yes. Basically, in fact, I just learned how to do some physical computing. When I've always taught Scratch, you know, as the beginning of coding, but I found out just lately, in fact, a few days ago, that there's more to Scratch than my eyes could see. Yeah. We did a lot of physical computing where we built robots and used Scratch program to use, we used some kind of wiring and the thing was working. In fact, if you see, I was like, ow, I was thinking Scratch was just for babies, you know. So, there's a lot of skills to learn.
Definitely.
And then there's a lot of add-ons.
Thank you very much, Stella. Madam, quick one. You've told us that the government is taking some steps in the ministry in terms of introducing some curriculum, right? To like STEM education, because we believe technology is the present. So can you just give us in a minute on what to expect from the Ministry of Education? What new changes from the normal norms?
Presently, like I told you, there's a 10-pillar agenda by the minister, which one of them is talking about TVET and STEM, which is residence in my department. Presently, we are into collaboration, even with China and some other international development partners, which I want to use this opportunity to call for more collaboration, because the ministry alone cannot do it. Like the Federal Ministry of Education, though it's the overall body that assists to education, but education is also taken on by the states on its own. But we see that to achieve what we aim, we need more people to come in and collaborate with us. So presently, like last week, we had some people from China who are planning to build for us a center of excellence, where they'll put some of this technology in place, where we'll bring children from all over Nigeria to come and learn new things. And PAN also, that's Peugeot Automobile of Nigeria. They too they are planning a collaboration with us on automotive engineering. So we need more collaboration, but the ministry is open to anybody coming. We need more people to help us because the budget alone cannot achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we come to the end of this session, but before I end up, I want to quickly give them 1 more second. They have a message. I believe you have a message out there for the women, right? 1 second, Doctor, please. What's your message out there for the women?
I think I would like to say something before my message. I think it's very important for government organizations to work together. I think we need to work together closely to bring synergy into what we're doing before we even collaborate outside the government. And for the women out there, it's not about just making women come into STEM. I think it's about letting them know the opportunities that exist out there and showing them that they can do it, and then it's your choice. If it's the engineering you want, if it's the computer science you want, fine. If you want accounting or marketing, it is still very fine. So it's not about forcing or making women to take up STEM careers, but also about letting them know they can do it. And there are opportunities that come with it. So I think that's very important.
Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I don't think women should just try and network. There are lots of opportunities, like lots and lots of, especially for the northern ladies. I'm really stressing on this. most of the scholarships that I get, I don't, no matter how hard I try to advertise on social media, I don't get journalists applying. So I think they should step out there and follow social media that will impact in their lives instead of
Not doing selfie.
Yes, not
Thank
doing
you.
selfies.
Well, my message is to ensure that you hold on to somebody as you climb up. That's my message.
Wow.
And especially the little
Hold
child.
on to somebody.
Yes, the little
Hand
child.
holding.
Yes, that is just be in your neighborhood or something. That's my message.
Thank you.
Early exposure of the girls to technology.
Yeah.
Just like the doctor said, giving them early exposure and enabling environment is very essential. Encouraging girl-child education, either through our churches, our mosque, and the community in general, that the parents have the understanding of what the girls can become. If they're exposed to that through vigorous advocacy and sensitization, I'm sure we have more girls, and the issue of holding on to another, that is reproducing yourself. The little one of us that are already there should try as much as possible. Encourage somebody. Impact your life. Let them have the understanding. And whatsoever you need to do, support them to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to us. And I know you have questions to ask. Send the questions there. We'll get feedback on that. Thank you.